Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I am your host, Eric Shaw, and I have with me Curtis McDonald's. McMillan.
McGillicuddy.
It's like the
or
guy
as
from
your son calls me.
Curd.
Curd.
The Curd. Because it always has to start with an article.
Yep.
The Curd. That's English for you. For those writing things.
Curds. Way.
All right. I am way cool. That's weird. So, what we're going to do is 1 ounce of Jack Daniels, 1 ounce of Triple Sec, 1 ounce of Sweet Sour, 2 ounces of Coca-Cola, or whatever cola you want, called the Tennessee Tea. Thank you, Sexy Boy 708, or SXY Boy 708. I'm going to make a guess that means sexy.
So is he the 708th sexy boy?
Probably. It's a very prestigious title. It's like, sir. Everybody's going to have that.
It's like those numbers at the deli that you pull, like...
Yep. No, I'm keeping that one.
I'm 708 sexy
like,
boy.
Ripped it up and went... And you just imagined sexy boy, and then it became... Anyway, so... I don't think I have this in the right direction. We've got Tennessee Tea. And it has Tennessee non-bourbon. All right, here goes. We're going to hit the break right here and say... Why wouldn't this be called bourbon? I'm going to tell you why I don't think it should be called bourbon.
Okay.
Because it's not from the bourbon region of Kentucky.
There is no bourbon region. Bourbon can be made anywhere in the United States.
This is what people on YouTube tell me. I believe it's not called bourbon because Jack Daniels put on their website, this is not bourbon, it's Tennessee.
Not worrying about marketing. Just give me an educated guess why you don't think it's bourbon.
There's only two reasons.
Okay.
The distillate or the region. And you're telling me it's not the region.
There's 51% corn in that product.
Are there other bourbons with 51% corn?
All bourbons have 51% corn.
Do they all have government warnings that you can't have it when you're pregnant?
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you. They don't like it to be called. So you're saying that, okay.
Okay, so
I'm going to give you bourbon. Where's I need to know the bourbon.
This is where the American government just totally lost it.
Okay, this is the government problem. I believe
Sugar maple charcoal filtering.
It's Obama that did this.
No, this is way, way long ago. People would say that the sugar maple charcoal filtering is what makes it not a bourbon.
Okay, because the sugar and the maple...
Filtering.
I don't really know what that means. I'm trying to think of...
Okay, you know
I'm picturing this fall of maple and also
you know that
bourbon
charcoal filtering thing that they do for vodka?
I can fully understand that, yeah.
This is filtered in the same way as a vodka with sugar maple.
But what does that mean, sugar maple?
That means that they're taking the alcohol product and they're filtering it to remove... through char sugar maple.
Okay, so that's a tree.
Yeah, sugar maple trees. They burn them down.
I'm just seeing this Willy Wonka thing in my head.
Okay. Well, just stop.
Like a waterfall of sugar maple.
Charcoal. We'll just go to the easiest thing. They're filtering the alcohol through charcoal.
And that's bad.
No.
It's different.
Well, it's the same thing they do with vodka. Charcoal will pull out conjugars, the oil particles that give alcohol its flavor. It'll pull those out of the alcohol, which makes this lighter than a traditional bourbon.
More like a vodka. Except for not 17 times distilled.
No. It's still a whiskey, and it's still just as much whiskey as that whiskey.
This one over here, this is Maker's Mark.
Okay? But this is charcoal filtered where that one is not.
Right.
Okay? Here's the problem. If charcoal filtering is the only thing that makes this not a bourbon, Jim Beam makes a charcoal filtered bourbon in Kentucky.
Well, that's not good. Because somebody's lying. There's a lie. There has to be, because...
I would love for the people at Brown and Foreman to get a hold of Derek and explain to us why it's not a bourbon. Because
it's a rhetorical question that they don't have a good answer to?
Uh-huh.
So you would say that they would come on and they'd give you a spin, and up front right away it would sound logical, and then when you start to think about it and find other analogies to which contradict it,
it's a bourbon.
That is where everything falls apart.
It is a bourbon. It is a charcoal filter bourbon. If Jim Beam can charcoal filter their green label bourbon, then Jack Daniels is a bourbon.
So then historically that would say that the rules who made this when pictures were still black and white decided what...
Well, the other side of the coin is that because it's in the Tennessee region, it is a Tennessee product, so it's a Tennessee whiskey. That's what its classification is.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem with that is that being a Tennessee whiskey should make it different than all the other bourbons. If you're making a bourbon And just because it's in a different region doesn't make it a different product.
Right, because you call it.
Hopefully, you guys aren't getting super confused with what I'm trying to do.
I think it's pretty common, man, because I understand it. If I understand it, so I'm done.
Yeah.
So then you can tell me that there is a bourbon made outside of Kentucky and Tennessee that exists that's labeled as a bourbon today.
Yes, Hudson and upstate New York.
Upstate New York can make a bourbon, but this isn't classified as a bourbon because of a region. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
It's also a whiskey. The thing is, however, with all that being said...
If something about this region, like the regionality, made it different, like let's say they peated the bourbon.
Like the peat in it?
Yeah, you know how like the smoky Isla?
Oh.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how the peat makes it really smoky? If they peated this bourbon, and that only happened in Tennessee... I would be okay with saying Tennessee whiskeys are peated bourbons.
So that there would be a new classification, and people who have those would go, oh, it's a Tennessee whiskey. I know what to expect. It's got some peat.
It's going to be really smoky.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So then, is there anything wrong with them calling it a Tennessee whiskey? No, right? I mean, it's still a whiskey.
If the classification changes it and makes it different from everybody else.
No, but is it really about a classification, or can they just name it whatever the hell they want to? I mean, can they just say this is a whiskey made in Tennessee?
The federal government says that that's not the case, but technically from this discussion that we're having, it is the case.
I mean, because if I wanted to make, say I wanted to make a New Hampshire whiskey.
Yeah.
Like a Canadian whiskey, only in New Hampshire.
Yep.
Close to Canada.
You could do that if you made it in New Hampshire.
This is in Tennessee, so they should be able to do the same thing. That doesn't mean it can't be classified as a bourbon.
If using the regionality as a specific thing, it's just because you made it in Tennessee doesn't make the product taste different than making it in Kentucky.
No. Yeah, not a taste different, but a label.
But that's the only thing. Changing labeling should only occur when the product changes in flavor.
Well, yeah, except for maybe it was their label to begin with. Like, they just wanted to call it that. Maybe like if I first made my brand, I'm like, I want to call this a New Hampshire whiskey because it's whiskey made in New Hampshire. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Now, would anybody get up in my grill and be like, you got to call that a bourbon because that's what it is because you followed all the rules? To me, as the maker, I would think I'd want to be able to give people a
federal government
expectation. Can I have that stir for a second?
The federal government's in place to help consumers not get confused by products.
Okay, that's fair. And in which case they should force me to call it a bourbon.
Yes.
At least someplace on the label.
Yeah.
I would hate that as a company because I want to get my own name. But when you start playing with alcohol, sometimes you have to follow the rules because that's why they have them.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, let's taste it. Then I want to talk about this news that people probably don't know about makers.
Makers.
You're supposed to, no, I'm supposed to.
No, you go first.
This needs a cherry garnish.
Lots of browns tonight.
Yeah. I can't see my screen.
I like it, but it's a little weird.
Why? I think it's very easy. It's easy to drink. It's got a lemon flavor to it. And there's sour mix in there. And cola. Cola and sour mix.
I think that's where it gets me a little...
Oh, maybe it's a triple sec. The citrus might be... It's a very citrus-driven Tennessee whiskey. It hides Jack Daniels very well. I don't get really a lot of Jack Daniels in that.
Yeah.
It's very similar to me, like a Long Island iced tea. Tennessee,
yeah. Oh no, it totally has that feeling. Yeah.
It's got that lemonade, tea like almost feeling, but there's alcohol sleeping in here, and you can't see it. It's like wah.
Oh. You
like that.
Makers.
Yes.
Aim of the makers. Okay, so this week we just found out something interesting about these two products. These two products have something in common, and if
they're brown.
You take a look at them. It may be a little bit difficult to find out. So I'll start with what's changing in this one.
Wax.
It is going down in alcohol by volume. And you might have found that out if you had been seeing the news reports or just keeping up tabs on alcohol.
Which is weird.
This did that 2 years ago.
Oh, was it 2 years ago? I never heard anything.
Well, that's the thing. If you do not pay attention to the products that you purchase, you are going to get caught in this scenario. when a company
Hands down.
feels like they either A, are running short on supply, or they could do this and nobody's going to notice, and the end result of that is going to be you're going to get watered down versions of what you're traditionally used to buying. They're going to have to use less alcohol to make this bottle, and the price is going to stay the same, which means they're going to make more profit.
So Maker's Mark is at 90.
90, and it's going down to 82%.
That's actually, I thought it was only 2 points. That's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So
This one was 10 points, I think.
I still think there's a value in buying a couple of those to keep. Not necessarily for collecting, but because if you like this, as it is today.
Screw them.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Go out.
I agree. Get Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. Oh, Four Roses.
4 Roses.
If you like this for the spiciness of it, buy Four Roses.
Well, this is a single barrel, so this might be that's a $50 bottle. That's a $30, right?
Screw 'em.
24. No, I'm completely happy screwing people.
Yeah. What's the proof on that one?
56. This is barrel. It's barrel strength, so it's 56%.
Well, it's not dropping on its own.
No.
So, you know what? If the people
I
at
can cut it
Maker's
with
Mark...
water if you want.
Personally, here's my take on this. If the people at Maker's Mark wanted to really care about their customers, they would say, you guys have been so good to us,
Social network that shit.
and we are running low on supply. We're going to have shortages. Take the shortages instead of dropping the proof.
I would take it in a different direction. If they're having shortages because of the demand, they need to raise the price. Because that is how supply and demand works.
Yeah. I honestly think that it makes more sense to leave the price the same. Let the customers know. Like, come out with full-scale commercials. Be like, soon in the next upcoming months, you're going to notice that Maker's Mark is going to be dry at certain liquor retailers. We're very sorry, but it has to do with you, our customers, our loyal customers, buying our products and loving us. We are going to make that up to you by, well, I don't know, 5 cent decrease in the price of the product, or, you know, like, we're trying to build as much as we can for the future. Thank you for being a loyal customer to us. That would have had so much better impact on the customer base instead of saying nothing, being snaky about it, and dropping the alcohol by volume.
See, but they could have also made a vote and put it on Facebook, right? To get social network involved and say, what do you guys want to do? I have these options. At the same time, I still think if you did that, if they came out and made that announcement, first thing that's going to happen is everybody's going to start buying this stuff and they're going to start flipping it for extra money, right? And the minute they do that, now I mean it's the same thing with the with the Wii, the Nintendo Wii, right?
Yeah.
When it went scarce, everybody bought it and they flipped it for more money. Why should makers lose out on the extra cash? They should raise the price. Because somebody else is going to do it for them. Here's another good example. If I was a liquor store, I would raise the price too. Because I'm going to run out. So I might as well raise the prices, slow down the sales to get extra cash because I'm not going to see it for a while. If that's my best-selling product, I need to make back that money. Raise the price.
Okay. Question of the day?
Question of the day. Would you raise the price, dilute the product, leave it the same with a PSA? That's a public service announcement. I'm happy with your idea. I think it's respectable and there's nothing wrong with it. I just have a feeling like everybody else is going to react by raising the price, and me as the maker who put the work in and is having the problem is going to lose out on that because everybody else is doing it.
I just always believe in honesty.
Oh, that never works. I mean, it works for us.
Yeah.
But we don't really. I mean, we're not a multi-million-dollar organization. We have a camera and some lights.
There's millions of dollars in here. They just don't see the gold bricks behind.
Yeah, it's $1 million operation in heart and soul, and that's what we're going to ask for when somebody comes to buy us.
Okay.
That's it. Tennessee Tea, weigh in. How do you feel about the Maker's Mark news? If you never heard about it, now you have. Weakening the proof. You want to know my personal opinion?
Yeah.
I vote with my wallet. I would buy these guys from these guys.
Any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Or Buffalo Trace would be your next one. Because Buffalo Trace is kind of what I pair next to it.
You know what's funny? If I'm not buying Four Roses or Buffalo Trace, I buy Wild Turkey.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a GMO product. It's non-GMO.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about. What about Black Velvet?
It doesn't use genetically modified corn.
Oh. I like it. Does the corn have 4 arms?
Just say it. Point and say it.
EverydayDrinks.com. We're teaching you how to drink.